All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Is it 1080p? Yes, there is the option. Is it 1080p? It just pause. Yep. Okay, amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. So on this live stream, what I will be doing is making a simple real-time chat application in Node.js using Express, Mongoose, and Socket.io. Mongoose is basically a Node.js package for MongoDB, in case you're wondering. And yeah, so I basically did this tutorial twice now, and I figured that I might stream it just as a reference for some of you guys if you feel like you need a little bit of explanation. I highly recommend this tutorial, by the way, if you want to get into making some real-time applications, you know, two people chatting together, and so on and so on. So yeah, basically I will try to write the whole thing without looking at this tutorial, but in case I forget anything, there's the source code, and most importantly, the server.js and index.html are the files that I will look into. And so yeah, okay. So first things first, let's begin by writing our index.html. I have some stuff already prepared. Actually, let me see. Oh boy. Okay, let me just copy one line, or maybe not. Okay, maybe not. I will do it the proper way. So, for the front-end part of this app, I will be using a Bootstrap. And to include the Bootstrap in our project, all we can do is, yes, there's the CSS paste link, which I should have right there, yeah. And JavaScript source, yes. Great. Okay. And the script with some JavaScript code, basically for some animation stuff in Bootstrap, might come in handy. Probably won't, but in case you want to extend your project in any particular way, if there's anything in Bootstrap that requires some sort of JavaScript, then just from getbootstrap.com you can get the link and paste it at the bottom of the before the closing body tag. So that's that. And okay, other than that, I do include jQuery, I do include Socket.io, and it's a relative path because I just actually it shouldn't be relative. It should not be relative, I guess. Well, yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't. Or maybe it doesn't matter actually. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, it is relative because to download the socket.io, you use the Node Package Manager npm install and something like socket.io, right? And other than socket.io, we'll be using Mongoose and body parser, HTTP. And is there anything else? And of course, Express. Oh, and one last thing, I highly recommend installing Nodemon with the global flag, so you can access that package in every Node project basically. And what that does is basically whenever you run your app like this, you can just run your Node application with Nodemon. It's basically listening for any changes in your files. So whenever you update anything in your JavaScript files, it will automatically reload the whole application. So you don't have to, you know, manually do Ctrl+C to restart, to shut down the Node app and then run it manually once again. So that is quite handy. Okay, so for our app, I'm using Bootstrap, so we start with our container div, and we will have 2 more divs. Okay, ID messages. Inside the container, we'll have 1 div Jumbotron and 1 div messages with the ID messages, not the class. If you are not sure what does the container stands for and Jumbotron, just go to the official Bootstrap documentation and you can read about all of that. And this part will be empty and it will be essentially the placeholder for all of the messages. And now I would want to probably, okay, yes, run this index.html file in my browser. And okay, what can we do? What can we do? We can make h1 with the class let me think, simple chat. There's this thing. Was it heading 4? I'm not sure. It probably wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. Let me check. Customize content, typography, bootstrap heading, display. Yes, display. Display 4. Okay. Beautiful font. Amazing. You can make a break line. I like to put the / in my closing to close singular tag. And then we have input with the class form control. Okay, and the ID of name. Oh yeah, input is self-enclosing. At not value. No. I'm looking for an attribute. Placeholder. Okay. Yep. So this name right here in the background is basically our placeholder right there. And again, class form control is just some styling class defined in the Bootstrap, so it looks pretty and it scales. And it is basically responsive on every device. Then another break line. We can make also a label for our name input, maybe that will be better this way. Label name. Yep. And there is a class form label, I believe. Not sure actually. Let me see. Form control, label, class form label, yes. Form dash label. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that is just how it looks like. Then our text area. Text area ID message input class form control placeholder your message here. All right, and we can also add a label for message input class form label. Yep, message. Okay, great. Yep. And last but not least, let's make a send button. Button with class btn success. Okay. Send, boom. And let's give it an ID. Send button. Okay, great. So that should be it for our front-end part of the application. Basically, you can write your custom nickname right there. Like cat, write your message, send it, and it should appear below our form. All right. Now there are two ways we could go. We could either make some logic in our index.html, so basically from the side of our client, like, you know, making a event click function for our buttons and retrieve some functionality to retrieve the data from our server. Or maybe we can leave it for later. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. We can go to the server.js, and I have one line already in this file, and it is basically the whole completed URL for my MongoDB database. So just the form to protect my password, I guess, to my database. So yeah. All right. Const. What should we start with? Let's start with Express. Require Express. That's how you import stuff in Node.js. Const body parser, require body parser, const let's go with the app right there. Express, yep. Const HTTP. will be require http server from our app and const mongoose require mongoose, and the last but not least socket, or maybe IO, whatever you want to call it, require socket.io. Okay. And I believe from the HTTP. Right. I believe I got my imports correct. It's just really the form of memorizing all of that stuff and basically checking the documentation. In case you're wondering, so these two requires are pretty much straightforward. So Express will be our, of course, it's the import of our Express framework, which lets us handle some HTTP methods like get, post, update, and delete. HTTP, you can read about the HTTP methods on the wiki if you're not familiar with them. You should be. And the body parser will parse our info that we receive from the request. Like when we try to make a post request on some URL, like for example, let's say we use we have our post method on /messages, right? Post HTTP method on /messages, and it also includes some form of data, right? We have some data in our request, in our request. So body parser will basically extract the data from our HTTP request into some sort of JavaScript object, as far as I understand. And we need to do a couple things. First, appuse, okay, body parse JSON, and appuse body parser URL encoded extended false. It's just straight up from the tutorial on FreeCodeCamp. So that line will basically state that our whole application, whenever someone tries to access our website, right? Like for example, if we start our website on localhost on port 3000, whenever someone goes in the browser to HTTP localhost port 3000, that line basically ensures that we serve our response from index.html. It just basically means that from the file, right? So that's why we pass our directory name. So the whole Express will look at the current directory for the index.html, and it will be passed on as our main entry point to our website. And this other stuff, body parser.json, returns middleware that only parses JSON and only looks at requests where the content type header matches the type option. Yeah, so basically, as I said, looks at requests and tries to parse that request into some sort of JSON or JavaScript object or stuff like that. And URL encoded returns middleware that only parses URL encoded bodies and only looks at requests where the content type header matches the type option. The extended option allows to choose between parsing the URL encoded data with the query string library or the QS library. So I have absolutely no idea what are these libraries. I feel like by looking at the word extended, it basically means that it's somehow advanced, right? And that way we just state that, don't worry, we don't need to use any fancy library. Okay, whatever. And that's our, and that really is kinda awkward and bizarre and whatever stuff. So yeah, it's just memorization thing and trying to figure out whatever works. And that's not really interesting, but okay. Let me paste it right there. Okay. I feel like we're fine. Okay. Let's maybe make our server, const server at the bottom of our server.js, HTTP. Let's listen on port 3000, and then we'll have our callback function, which will basically console log, maybe with backticks, listening on port 3000. Beautiful. Okay, now we can try to run this whole thing with NodeMon. Let's see if it even works. It does not. Oh my god, cannot use import statement outside a module. Well, that is kinda garbage, but okay, I guess. DB URL. I wanted to hide my password, but let's see how to do that. Unexpected token export. Okay, let me just, for a brief second, yep. Okay. Restarting, listening on port 3000. Okay. Let me just console log DB URL. And it's freaking empty. Amazing. Undefined, yep. Okay. Now the Googling part is the best part of programming. Node.js, export, const. How do you share constants in Node.js modules? Oh, okay. Okay. Module exports. Okay. Oh. Great, it works. Fantastic. At least it should. Yep. Okay. Let me just clear the terminal then. Okay. Okay, everything works right now. No leaks, no leaks? No leaks. Great. No passwords leaked. Fantastic. Now there's, oh, I shouldn't probably hover over DB URL. So yeah, listening on port 3000. Now we should be able to go just to our localhost and refresh. And there we go. There's app running on port 3000 on our own local machine. Great. Right now it's only the HTML part of our app, of course. So let's add some functionality, shall we? First of all, maybe let's handle the database. So it's probably wise for any chatting application to not use any SQL database systems, because you don't really need relations between tables and stuff like that. So no SQL databases like MongoDB should be more than enough, and actually they are quite preferred, I would say, because you only need to store a specific amount of objects, and probably lots of these objects, and you don't have to worry about any relational stuff with with the tables in your database. So that's why we use MongoDB, and Mongoose is our Node.js driver. And let's do const message, which will be our message model, basically. You would say in a SQL world that it would be a one row of our database. Oh yeah, like it would be the definition of our one record. Yeah, that's right. So basically all of our columns will be defined right there. So yeah, Mongoose model model message nice. Do I remember how to do that? Yes, I actually do. Name string, message string. I'm not sure about that model name, to be completely honest. By the way, for MongoDB, I am using their official cloud platform, cloudmongodb.com. And as you can see, there's my cluster, my collection. So basically, simple chat is my database, and there's my messages collection. So as you can see, there's no table forms or anything like that, but just JavaScript objects stored one after another. And that's really enough for our messaging app, so yeah. And I'm not sure because this collection is called messages, and I'm not sure if model name collection. Okay, it's just the model name. Okay. I guess that's fine. We should maybe open the connection to our database. So Mongoose connect. And now DB URL. Yep, that's the whole URL. You can find the URL on the MongoDB cloud platform for connecting from Node.js, C#, C++, from any programming languages, how to connect to your MongoDB database. Connect, and what's the second thing? Will be callback with the possible error. Yep, so callback function with optional parameter error. If we encounter any sort of error, let's just console log it. Else, let's say connected to the database. Yep. Okay. Listing on port connected to the database. Great. Okay, so now our Mongoose is connected to MongoDB. We have our model, so basically our columns, if you would say in SQL. Defined. That's great, that's great. Okay. I guess now we can get into more interesting stuff. Now we'll handle some HTTP methods like get and post. Only two of them actually. So, if anyone sends us a request to retrieve all of the messages, so app.get/messages, so, and that's exactly what it states. If there's a get request on this URL /messages, of course, localhost on port 3000 slash messages. Oh my god. And then we will pass our callback function that takes request and response objects. Okay. Okay. Now let me think, how will we handle that? We need to find create a find query. Just body. Does find return mongoose query mongoose document any gets a list of documents that match. We want to find every possible message basically. Oh yeah, so no, not request body, just from our model message, just find in our database any message basically. That's what the empty curly braces that's what they mean. And then match, explain, find one, get, filter, hint, map. We don't want to do anything, I guess. That's our messages, I think. Yeah. Is there a possible callback function? Yes, there is. There might be an error. So if there is any sort of error finding the messages, we should send as our response, send status. HTTP 500. The status codes are somewhere defined on the web, so you can just Google that without any problems. Do I have everything on my stream? Yes, I have. HTTP request codes, response codes, to be completely fair. Client errors and server errors. Yes, exactly. So as you can see, there's the list of the HTTP response status codes. So in our case, we are dealing with the server side of things. And as you can see, you can just return any of these things. Probably 500 will be the most suitable for us, actually. Internal server error. Basically, we're letting know that anything that happened on the server side. Okay, so send status 500, else yeah, else it's fine, I guess. I think so. Yeah. Yep. Wait, actually, can we access the data right there? Oh, we can. Okay. So else send status 200. 200 is, if I'm correct. Okay, yeah, it's okay, accepted. All of these can be great. The request has succeeded. The request has been fetched and is transmitted in the message body. That's basically what you should use. As you can see, you can find the use case of every response status code on Mozilla Docs, for example. So we send the status 200 that everything went okay, and then in response, just send, I guess. What cookie content download, detach, emit? Nope, we do not emit right there. On, off, send status, send file, set. I believe we use send data. Yep, and we return this data. Yeah, okay, this should be fine. Do I have anything in my MongoDB database? I have. So we could maybe test this if we were to implement. Okay, well, heck, let's do it. Let's do it. Some scripting on our client side right now. So I will use jQuery in that particular step. So all of that basically means at the beginning of our script, or whenever the script is loaded, this will automatically run. So we want to assign the functionality to our send button. So dot hashtag send button. Yep, click. And now for the click, we'll have an arrow function that will basically send a get request. No, send a post request, probably. Post request to /messages, where callback function that is executed if the request succeeds. Let me think. Yeah, messages, send message. Yeah. We'll define that function in a second. No problem with that. And then let's call some arbitrary function get messages. Yeah. Okay. And function send message. Yep. And function get messages. Okay, so right now we don't have anything implemented in our send message function, so this button will be essentially just a dummy button as it is right now, to be honest. And in the get messages function, we would like to make an HTTP GET request to the URL /messages. Fail, error, open, pipe, progress, promise, response, state, status, then is there? Nope, there is nothing right there. Let me think. URL /messages. Yeah, there is success. There is a success data. Okay, optional callback function. Yeah, nice. Okay. So if we receive our data, actually success. Okay. So just a promise type of thing, whatever. I'm not sure if we... we don't... I'm not sure if we have to check if our data was received correctly. Okay, some messenger stuff. Don't worry. Okay, so there's our data. Right. Okay, so let's just console.log this data and we'll see what happens. Okay. Throw unhandled error event. Oh boy. Starting at object constructor. Where exactly? Server.js 26 send data. Okay, so maybe that's not. Message find, there is the filter, which is absolutely horrible. Callback with possible error. Okay, I believe we cannot do that right here. And let's just send status 200 right there. And then send the data. Nope. Nope. There's a mongoose object. Am I supposed to do anything with this object? I don't know, honestly. So instead of wasting our time, I really have to look at the tutorial. So everything there is fine. Oh yeah. Okay, so we can... that's kinda confusing. I did not understand. Let me just move everything as it was. Yes. Don't have to do any of that stuff. We can... oh, okay. The documents are the data. Okay, are the objects that were found. Okay, so that's our data basically. Okay. Error HTTP headers sent. Cannot set headers after they are sent to the client. Okay, but is it on the Mongoose side of things? 26, yes. Wait. Results send messages. Okay. Okay, so maybe only that. Okay, well, it did not crash, so that's great, I guess. Okay, so it did send a message. URL blah blah blah. Can we actually? I'm not sure. Not to spoil. Don't spoil that. No spoil. I want to just see. I'm just looking at the get messages. Oh, okay. The whole path. Okay. Wait, is it required in... No. In server.js it is not, but in the jQuery the whole path is required. Okay, maybe let's try that. So request to the http dot localhost 3000/messages. Yep. Okay, nothing happened. That's amazing, I guess. No console logging. Oh, wait, actually, what am I doing? It's the client side array. Yes! Amazing. Yep. Alright, so yeah. Our client browser received 2 messages. Fantastic. Okay. So our data is properly handled. And now we can do data for each object. We can do $messages append h1/h1 paragraph, closing paragraph. Yeah, should be fine. Okay. Object dot name, object dot message, and let's see it in action. Fantastic. Yep. Our 2 messages are now retrieved from the server. That's great. That's absolutely great. So basically what I've done is I've seen that whenever we make a get request on our global object, right? With a empty $, whenever you try to, you can use any HTTP methods just by using a $, dot, and then name of the method, because it will be executed on like the whole window or global object, right? Then I pass what URL I would like to access. So I would like to perform a get method on this particular URL. And then we might receive some data. And with this data, we will do that callback function, right? And now I have console logged this data. So as you could see, it is a JavaScript array. And of course, as with any array, we can perform a for each method on this particular array, where for every single object, we will append to this div, this container for messages, right? To this container of messages, we are appending a h1 tag with the name of object.name and the paragraph object.message, right? So for every message object, we retrieve the name and the message, and we append this whole messages box. That's basically it in a nutshell. Okay, so it works just fine right now. Let's also make up that post messages require, not require. This is not REQ for require, it is request. Yes, it is a request, in fact. And let's see. In your text, request.body. I'm not sure if I should parse it in any particular way. Probably not. Yeah. Okay, so now how do I add this thing to the database? Create a new document. Okay, yep. Create seems like it should be the one. Oh boy. Let me look at that signature. Create documents. Yes, docs. Is there any error handling method? Oh boy. I'm not sure how to append it. Nope. New message. Okay. We can just make new message of request.body. So the data that was passed in our request, right? That's the new message. We have our new message. And what are they doing? Message save, to save it in the database. Yes. So new text dot save. And now options. If document is new is true, or sends an update one operation with just the modified paths is. Well, wait. Okay. Well, that's not really an error, is it? Oh, it is. Error document. Okay, it is. Okay, it is. In case anything goes wrong, if we happen to receive an error, let's just send to, as a response, of course, send status 500. Else, just send status. Should we send? Oh yeah, it's send status 200, but yeah, in a block send status 200. So it might not be necessarily correct as they did in this paragraph, because 200. Oh no, it can be for post. Never mind. The resource describing the result of action is transmitted in the message body. Okay. It just the request has succeeded for any type of request. No, okay. Never mind. So just, yep. This thing is absolutely fine. We have get this, post this, and this should be enough if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Yep. On the client side of things, we have to make our send message function right now. Click. Should there be any parameters right there? I don't feel like they should, but maybe. As you can see, I cannot absolutely write all of that from my memory. I still vaguely remember some things, but not all of them. Send the messages. I want to, yes. $post. Oh yeah, they just split that thing into two functions. That's fine. Yep, there is a message. Of course, this. Oh yeah, this function has to click. Oh, okay. That's how they did that. I see. Yep. Okay. So to the send message, they are passing in a object that will be dollar hashtag name value and message dollar hashtag message dot value, if I recall correctly. And they are passing it as a object to this function, and then they perform a post method operation to http localhost 3000/messages, and of course just message. I feel like, yep, just message. Okay, so now almost everything in our app is complete, and I can, okay, I can ensure you that whenever I type my message like hello world, it will work. There's just one problem. Okay, I just clicked that button and nothing really appeared right there. So what's happening? Maybe try refreshing the page. Oh boy, okay, undefined. Okay, so I fucked that up somehow. Omega lol. Is he destructuring that thing? No. Wait, what? Then what is happening? There is a object to send message. Name as $. Oh, okay. Name input and message input. My bad. As you can see, I have memorized some stuff. And I remembered that in the tutorial there was a name and message ID for these input boxes. Of course, that's not right. So let's try this one more time. Hello world. Okay, maybe don't spell it correctly. That's fine. And now refresh. Okay, so it works. As you can see, I can refresh as many times as I want, and it works. But what if I would like to have this basic chat live, so you wouldn't have to refresh the page essentially, because that's really the only way that chats make sense. That's where we use our socket.io module. Basically, the sockets in any programming languages, when you're trying to make some sort of chatting and stuff like that, will be like, the sockets are like, you know, the sockets in your walls, right? Yep, that is the socket. And where clients connect to that particular socket, right? And then they can listen for any changes that happen. So the idea is every client that opens this website should connect to our socket, right? To our interface, and then listen for any events that might happen. And whenever there is an event like, hey, there was a new message uploaded by someone, then the client will perform a get message action and he will retrieve that message, basically. That's how the sockets work. So to do that, there are two things we need to do. Actually, I remember on our client side of things, all we have to do is just execute const socket io. Yep. And socket dot, I don't remember. Oh yeah, you can emit connected. Socket emit connected. Yep. That's all you have to do. Just invoke the IO method and it will be available because we have in the head section of our index.html file explicitly imported the socket IO.js file, basically. So right now we are creating the socket and we're just sending the signal that, hey, we have connected. Great. So now, is it IO? It is IO. Nice. I believe what we can do is listen IO on connected. Just console.log a new user has entered the chat room. Yep. Okay, it's not enough. IO on. Okay. It should be a function. Listener. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. Connected to the database. Okay, it doesn't work at all. Fantastic. Why is that? There's actually, I am not sure why. I have really no clue why. But I cannot find Visual Studio doesn't show any function signatures and documentation strings and stuff like that, so really there's no way for me to know why that doesn't work other than just going to socket.io on tweet IO emit. Yes. So yeah. Connected user, let's say. Well, yeah, but user is declared, but its file is never read. Or maybe, wait, do I emit? Yeah, I do. I emit. Just emit connected. That should be fine. That should absolutely be fine. I don't get it. Okay. Let's see how they managed to include socket.io on connection. Wait. Did I miss connected? Connected. Are these events just predefined? They might be. They absolutely might be just predefined events in the library. So they're just a new user has entered the chat room. There we go. Yeah. So these events are predefined and it's just a matter of reading the documentation and figuring out what types of events can there be. And one more thing is retrieving. The data. So socket on message, we should perform get messages as well. Yep. So we send the signal to our server that there was a new connection, a new user basically entered the chat room, and then we set the event handler, event listener. So whenever this socket, this user hears or sees that there was a message event, like new message has appeared, right? Then we perform the get messages function. So basically, again, retrieve every possible message from the database. So now the last line in this code should be to actually send that signal. So, hey, whenever someone posted a new message, we want to emit, right? The message with new text. Is it required actually at all? It's just saved IO emit. No, it's not required at all. Yeah, just emit message. And that should be fine. Connected to the database, a new user has entered the chat room. Yep. So whenever someone has accessed the HTTP post method, they send some stuff in the request body, right? The name, which is string, and the message, which is string. We can construct a new message, and we are saving that message on our database. If there happened any sort of error, we send the status 500, something went wrong. And if the save was successful, we emit the message to every client that is connected to our socket. We emit the event message basically stating that, hey, there is a new message on the server and you might want to retrieve it. And that way, on our client side of things, on message event, whenever there is a new message, we perform this thing, which will retrieve every message from our database. And let's just cross our fingers that everything works. So, yep. We are in the chat room, and let's say, YouTube, hello. Oh my god, there's a lots of different stuff. It did. What is happening? Undefined YouTube. Okay, so it does work, but it sends two messages, one of which is undefined. Oh boy, now. What might be the case right there? Wait, they do send request body with the emit, but why? Why? Will that fix it? Request body? A message, request body. Oh, wait, what? But it's kind of weird because get messages do not wait. Request body, but is his function add messages? Oh, it does add messages. Message. Okay, but it's oh. Okay. Oh, okay. So maybe not necessarily getting all of that stuff from database. Well, yeah, that's kind of smart when I think about that. So let's split that function to add messages, new message, and basically that thing will go there. Message, yep, great. Now for each object, let's call add messages from that, yes. Okay. On a new message, let's perform add messages, which takes a new message and just adds it to our document. Not necessarily retrieves everything from our database. So that might be a bit smarter. Yep, message, all the messages. Okay, that should be fine. Now, let's see. Last thing is YouTube undefined, and let's add only one thing, like Twitch. Hello, send. Twitch hello, undefined. Why is that happening? And let's check MongoDB. Are there so many undefined messages? Yes, yeah, they are. There are so many new messages. So the thing previously, I guess worked, but it was retrieving everything from the database, and which might not be most optimal of things. So that's at least an optimization. Optimization improvement, yes. Now, on the client side of things, I don't think there's any problem. Just send the message name, boom, val, message val, and get messages. Maybe yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's just get messages once and then add this new socket connection, add messages, message, get messages, data. Yeah, we don't have to console log it. That's fine. Oh yeah, there's a shorthand syntax, but that's not our problem at all. Send messages, message. Okay, there's a problem in our server.js file. And it's the last thing that doesn't work. After that, we will be in good shape. Message find error messages and data. Okay, up post request result. Const new text request body new text save. If error send status 500 in else clause, I guess, because if there is no error, just emit new message and pass the request body and send status 200. Yep. IO connection, a user is connected and they perform a Mongoose connection at the bottom of the server.js, but that doesn't really make any difference, to be honest. Wait, maybe there's something wrong with the click, button click, or I don't know. Button ID send, wait, send button, yeah. And this button ID. I'm not sure what's wrong. Wait. Oh, I see. Well, it doesn't make any difference actually. It performs get message. Oh, by the way, oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Oh yeah, I'm doing it. Oh yes, I was doing it twice. I was actually doing it twice. Okay, so send message function does a post request, and then this thing did a post request. Yeah, and this stuff that actually returns undefined. So it's actually correct. Okay, that was my bad. My bad. Everything should work now. GG. Well played. Let's see. Yep. Only one. Yes, only one message. Fantastic. And also, if you want to just reset your testing MongoDB rather database, there was a trick on how to do that. You have to create an async function like drop collection, in which you invoke delete many. Yep. Every. Yep. Just delete every possible object. And you can call that function once. Restarting. Yep. And it should have happened, but it did not. Fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Message delete many. Or was it Mongoose? Shites. Now I am not sure. Mongoose drop collection. Someone has done that. My model collection.drop. Mongoose connection. Wait. Message collection drop. Okay, now. Holy fuck, I actually... Okay. I have deleted absolutely everything. Yep, okay. So now it's clear. And I don't necessarily want to clear collection. I want to... Wait, yes I do. I don't want to delete a database. I want to clear a collection. What has actually happened? Drop collection. Oh, there is a drop collection. Am I blind? Wait. Message collection. Collection that model uses. I did not do that. Go to empty a collection. Empty, yes. Delete many. DB collection. Yeah. Or await. Just, yeah. Await. Message. Delete many. I guess I was, yeah. I was only lacking the await keywords, I suppose. So now there's nothing right there. Okay, let's just add this a couple of times. Refresh. Sure, there are 4 messages. And let's just save this file one more time. So NodeMon will restart the whole thing. And did that clear messages? Yes, it did. Fantastic. Okay, so that's how you can delete all of the messages, but keep the collection existing, basically. So we have an empty collection. Then you can comment this shit out or whatever. Yep. Yep. So maybe you found this helpful somehow. I don't know how, because I struggled a ton. I will do this thing probably, well, actually, to be completely honest, without talking about everything, I'll just do it 2 or 3 more times. 3 is absolutely the maximum. I feel like I now know what is happening. I feel like I can do all that stuff from my memory, and I get the idea. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed that. See you maybe in Dark Souls this time. Yeah, whatever. Bye.